Do you think shady spots are a challenge in gardening? Many do, you know. They see a shady corner and think, well, nothing will grow there. But they couldn't be more wrong. Some of the most exquisite, rewarding plants positively relish a bit of shade. Yes, shade gardening is all about embracing the subtle beauty and tranquility that flourishes away from the glare of the sun. It's about creating a haven of cool greens, delicate textures, and unexpected bursts of color. So join me and discover the secret plants that thrive in shade and transform any dark corner into a lush paradise. Let's begin with hostas, often called the queen of the shade. And rightly so, I think. Their lush sculptural foliage comes in a remarkable array of greens, blues, golds, and even variegated varieties. Imagine them under a canopy of trees, their leaves unfurling like giant textured waves. They create a sense of fullness, of vibrant life, even in the deepest shade. And the best part is, they require minimal care. Just a little water during dry spells and a tidy up in the autumn. Look for varieties like Sun and Substance with its enormous chartreuse leaves or the elegant Blue Angel with its cool silvery foliage. Hostas are a testament to the fact that shade doesn't have to mean dull. In fact, it can be positively majestic. Next, we venture into the realm of ferns, those delicate yet resilient wonders of the woodland. Their fronds, like emerald lacework, bring a touch of magic and mystery to any shady corner. Imagine them nestled amongst mossy stones, their feathery fronds catching the light and casting intricate shadows. They add a sense of depth and texture that few other plants can match. From the delicate maidenhair fern to the majestic ostrich fern, there's a fern for every shady nook. And don't be afraid to mix and match. A combination of different fern varieties can create a truly enchanting tapestry of textures and shades of green. It's like bringing a touch of the wildwood into your own backyard. Now, let's introduce a splash of color with astilbes, those cheerful charmers that thrive in dappled shade. Their feathery plumes in shades of pink, red, white, and purple bring a touch of whimsy and joy to the garden. Imagine them swaying gently in the breeze, their delicate flowers catching the light and illuminating the surrounding foliage. They're like little beacons of color in the cool shade. Astilbes prefer a moist, humus-rich soil, so be sure to mulch around them well, and deadhead the spent flower plumes to encourage a second flush of blooms. For a truly spectacular display, try planting a drift of astilbes in a variety of colors. It's a sight that's sure to lift the spirits and bring a smile to your face. Chapter 4. Heucheras, Jewels of the Shade. For year-round color and interest, look no further than heucheras, also known as coral bells. These versatile plants are perfect for adding a splash of color to your garden, no matter the season. Their striking foliage in shades of deep purple, lime green, bronze, and silver adds vibrancy and texture to even the darkest corners. Each leaf is like a miniature work of art, contributing to the overall beauty of your garden. Imagine them cascading over the edge of a pot or lining a shady pathway, their colorful leaves catching the light and creating a kaleidoscope of hues. These plants can transform any dull area into a vibrant, eye-catching display. They're like jewels scattered amongst the greenery, each one adding its own unique charm and character to the garden. Heucheras prefer a well-drained soil and partial shade, although some varieties can tolerate more sun. This adaptability makes them suitable for a variety of garden settings. They're relatively low maintenance but benefit from a light trim in the spring to remove any dead or damaged leaves. This simple care routine helps keep them looking their best throughout the year. With so many colors and varieties to choose from, heucheras are a must-have for any shade garden. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or a beginner, these plants are sure to bring joy and beauty to your outdoor space. Chapter 5. Japanese Forest Grass, a Golden Glow. Let's add a touch of elegance and movement with Japanese forest grass, or hakanekloa. Its cascading foliage in shades of golden green brings a sense of tranquility and grace to the shade garden. Imagine it planted beneath a Japanese maple, its delicate blades catching the light and creating a shimmering effect. Or use it to line a pathway, its soft texture inviting you to run your fingers through it. Japanese forest grass prefers a moist, well-drained soil and partial to full shade. It's relatively slow-growing but can eventually form a substantial clump. For a truly magical display, plant it where it can catch the morning or evening light. The way the light filters through its leaves is simply breathtaking. Chapter 6. Foamflower, Delicate Charm. Now, for a touch of delicate charm, let's turn our attention to foamflower, or tiarella. This lovely plant is known for its dainty star-shaped flowers and attractive heart-shaped leaves. Imagine it nestled amongst ferns and hostas, its delicate blooms adding a touch of airiness and light to the shade garden. The flowers, which appear in spring, rise above the foliage on slender stems, creating a cloud-like effect. Foamflower prefers a moist, humus-rich soil and partial to full shade. It's a relatively low-maintenance plant but benefits from a light trim after flowering to keep it looking tidy. For a truly enchanting display, plant it in a mass or drift, allowing its delicate beauty to take center stage. Chapter 7. Bleeding Heart, Romance in the Shade. No shade garden would be complete without the classic bleeding heart, or dicentra. This romantic plant is known for its heart-shaped flowers which dangle gracefully from arching stems. Imagine it planted near a bench or arbor, its delicate blooms swaying gently in the breeze. The flowers, which appear in spring, come in shades of pink, red and white and attract hummingbirds and butterflies. Bleeding Heart prefers a moist, well-drained soil and partial to full shade. It's a relatively short-lived perennial, but often self-seeds, ensuring its presence in the garden for years to come. For a truly captivating display, plant it alongside other shade-loving plants like ferns, hostas and astilbes. Chapter 8. Lungwort, Early Spring Cheer. Let's add a splash of early spring color with lungwort, or pulmonaria. This charming plant is known for its spotted leaves and its early blooming flowers, which appear in shades of blue, pink and white. Imagine it planted along a woodland path or under a deciduous tree, its cheerful blooms brightening up the landscape before other plants have even begun to emerge. Lungwort prefers a moist, humus-rich soil and partial to full shade. It's a relatively low-maintenance plant, but benefits from a light trim after flowering to keep it looking tidy. For a truly stunning display, plant it in a mass or drift, allowing its colorful blooms and spotted foliage to take center stage. Chapter 9. Hellebores, Winter Wonders. In this chapter we explore the enchanting world of hellebores, a true gem of the winter garden. For winter interest, look no further than hellebores, also known as Lenten roses. These resilient plants are a gardener's delight, offering beauty when most other plants are still in their winter slumber. These remarkable plants bloom in late winter or early spring, bringing a welcome splash of color to the garden when everything else is still dormant. Their blooms can last for several weeks, providing a continuous display of beauty. Imagine them planted beneath a winterberry holly, or alongside snowdrops, their delicate blooms adding a touch of magic to the winter landscape. The combination of hellebores with other winter plants creates a picturesque scene that can be enjoyed from the warmth of your home. The flowers, which resemble roses, come in shades of pink, purple, white, and green. Each variety offers its own unique charm, making it easy to find the perfect hellebore to complement your garden's color palette. Hellebores prefer a moist, well-drained soil and partial to full shade. They thrive in these conditions, rewarding gardeners with their stunning blooms year after year. They're relatively low-maintenance plants but benefit from a light trim after flowering to keep them looking tidy. This simple care routine ensures that your hellebores remain healthy and vibrant. For a truly captivating display, plant them in a mass or drift, allowing their delicate blooms to shine against the backdrop of the winter garden. This approach not only enhances their visual impact, but also creates a serene and enchanting winter wonderland in your own backyard. Chapter 10. Tips for Shaded Garden Success. Now let's talk about some essential tips for success with your shade garden. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, these tips will help you create a thriving, beautiful space. First and foremost, remember that shade-loving plants still need water, especially during dry spells. While they may not need as much water as sun-loving plants, consistent moisture is crucial. Be sure to water them deeply and regularly. Deep watering encourages roots to grow deeper, making plants more resilient during dry periods. Secondly, soil preparation is key. The right soil can make all the difference in the health and growth of your plants. Shade-loving plants prefer a moist, humus-rich soil. This type of soil retains moisture well and provides essential nutrients. Amend your soil with compost or other organic matter to improve its drainage and fertility. Organic matter helps to create a rich, loamy soil that supports healthy root development. Thirdly, don't be afraid to experiment with different plant combinations. Mixing various textures, colors, and heights can add visual interest and depth to your garden. Shade gardens are all about creating a sense of mystery and intrigue, so have fun with it. Try incorporating plants with different leaf shapes and patterns to create a dynamic and engaging space. Finally, remember that shade gardens are a work in progress. They evolve over time, and that's part of their charm. As your plants grow and mature, you may need to make adjustments to their placement or add new plants to fill in any gaps. Regularly assess your garden and make changes as needed to keep it looking its best. With a little patience and care, your shade garden will become a haven of peace and tranquility, a place where you can escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Imagine sitting in your shaded garden, surrounded by lush greenery and the soothing sounds of nature. It's the perfect retreat to reconnect with yourself and the natural world around you. Outro: Embrace the shade. As you've seen, shaded areas hold so much potential for creating truly magical garden spaces. From the lush foliage of hostas to the delicate blooms of bleeding hearts, there's a world of beauty to discover in the shade. So don't shy away from those shady corners. Embrace them. Explore the plant options we've discussed and see what wonders you can create in your own garden. Tell me in the comments below, what are your favorite shade-loving plants? And be sure to subscribe for more gardening tips and inspiration. Happy gardening!